Hotels are supposed to feel safe, but some of them are literal nightmares. Each one has a terrifying twist you won't see coming. The last hotel on this list is hiding something. Subscribe to find out what it is. Hotel number 9, The Shining Horror Hotel.
Ever wondered what it's like to stay at the hotel from The Shining? Up on Mount Hood, Oregon is the Timberland Lodge, where it was filmed in 1978. Most interior shots were actually filmed in a hotel in England, but everything exterior was filmed here. The whole place felt very homey and historic, and the rooms felt just like an old cabin. It definitely had an eerie old vibe, like there might be some ghosts hanging around. The outdoor courtyard and games were super fun, and the scenic ski lift was breathtaking and only $20 a person for a ride. Had an awesome stay, and the only thing I didn't see were any actual ghosts.
The Stanley Hotel, Colorado. This place is legendary. Stephen King stayed here for one night and had a nightmare so disturbing it inspired The Shining. Guests swear they hear children running through empty hallways, piano keys playing with no one at the bench, and doors opening on their own. Imagine checking into a hotel and realizing you've walked straight into a horror movie. Would you stay the night, or would you check out after hearing that first creepy laugh? Hotel number 8, The Haunted Motel.
This is why you should never stay in sketchy motels. In 2005, a young woman on a solo road trip across the country decided to stop for the night. The first place she sees is the Mountaintop Motel. It looked pretty cheap, but she was tired, so she said good enough. The check-in guy eyed her up and down very uncomfortably and then asked her if she was traveling alone. She ignores the question, pays for her room, and then walks away with the key. When she gets inside her room and sees there are literally cockroaches in her bed, she says nope and decides to sleep in her car in the parking lot. Around 3 a.m., she wakes up to see the check-in guy using his own keys to get into the motel room she was supposed to be in. A few minutes later, he storms out and slams the door and starts walking towards her car. Terrified, she hides under her blanket as the man tries to open her car doors but can't and walks away. She speeds off and calls her friend and asks her to look up the address of Mountaintop Motel so she can give it to police. Her friend's quiet for a second and then says, "The Mountaintop Motel closed a week ago."
On the surface, this motel looks like every other roadside stop, but people who've stayed here say it's cursed. Guests wake up with scratches on their arms, hear knocking on their doors all night, and see figures standing at the edge of their bed. And the scariest part? Every time someone tries to review it online, their post mysteriously gets deleted. Like, who's covering it up? Hotel number 7, The Haunted Marshall Hotel.
This is why you should never stay in a haunted hotel. A group of friends decided to browse the internet for the most haunted hotels in America. They kept browsing and eventually found one called the Marshall House. They began reading the reviews and everybody kept saying that room 414 was by far the most haunted. So the friends decided we have to rent this hotel. Once they booked it, they bought a bunch of equipment like a spirit box, a Ouija board, and a UV light to help communicate with the spirits. A couple weeks passed and it's time to leave. The drive was around 5 hours, but they eventually made it there. They walk up to the receptionist and they say, "Hey, I'm here to check in." The receptionist looks at him and says, "I know you're staying in room 414. Good luck." This threw the kids off guard, but they started walking up the stairs and entering the room. If you want to know why I know this story so well, it's because this story happened to me. We put the Ouija board on the bed and started loading up the spirit box. And well, this happened. Leave me alone. I just heard leave me alone. If you want to see the full video of me staying in the most haunted hotel, click the link in my bio and watch the video.
Locals call it one of the most haunted spots in America. Shadows are seen walking through the hallways, and guests have reported waking up with someone sitting at the edge of their bed. Some even hear a woman whispering their name in the dark. Would you last a night here, or would you run the second you heard breathing in an empty room? Hotel number 6, The Empty Hotel.
This is why you should never sleep in an empty hotel, part 2. The man was upset on what just happened, so he went to the front desk to complain. The front desk manager said she'll take care of it. After that, the man went to TGI Fridays to eat dinner. When the man got back, he brushed his teeth, watched a little bit of TV, and then went to bed around 9 p.m. Around 3 in the morning, the man woke up to a noise. The man got up and listened to what it was. What happened next still scares the man to this day. The man couldn't even see something 1 foot in front of him, that's how dark it was. But then, all of a sudden, he heard a whisper in his ear saying, "You have to let him in." There was someone standing at the left edge of the man's bed, towering over him. The man screamed and felt like throwing up at the same time. The man ran for the door of his room. The person then followed behind him, chasing after him. The man easily made it out and ran to the front desk. The woman at the front desk admitted to losing one of the master keys. The man got a refund and left the hotel.
Imagine checking into a massive hotel and realizing you're the only guest. One traveler swore he heard footsteps every time he left his room, even though the entire building was empty. He even saw shadows passing under his door at night. If a hotel is that empty, you have to wonder, why did everyone else leave? Hotel number 5, Great Wolf Lodge.
You should stay away from Great Wolf Lodge. It is the worst family hotel in the country, and somehow they just got worse. They are now a timeshare company partnered with Hilton Grand Vacations, which means they're now full of body snatchers trying to sell you stuff. You're gonna wait forever to check in at these properties unless you get lucky and they have a mobile check-in kiosk and it works, which it never does. The rooms themselves are okay, but they are not worth the $400 a night plus they cost. The reason everyone comes here is for the indoor year-round water park, with bonus roaches everywhere for free. They have a game on every floor that encourages kids to run around screaming at all hours. They do sell food on property, but it's expensive and there's always a long line. The gift shop only sells merch and sugar. Everything else is just overpriced microwave junk food, and you're always gonna stand in line for it. The water park reeks of chlorine, and they constantly have to shut down the wave pool because kids mistake it for a bathroom and they have to fish it out. It's like Chuck E. Cheese and Motel 6 had a baby. Details in the comments. Now let's get back to Vegas.
Yeah, this one might surprise you. Everyone thinks it's just a fun family water park hotel, but dozens of kids have claimed to see a tall shadow man watching them in the hallways. Parents brushed it off as imagination until multiple families described the exact same thing. And security cameras? They've caught strange static glitches only on the floors where the sightings happened. Hotel number 4, the Cecil Hotel, Los Angeles.
The Cecil Hotel is one of the scariest places that I've ever stepped foot in. So to get into the hotel, we went earlier in August. We had to do some things to get in there, stuff that I'm not going to mention or be too graphic with, but we made our way in. And I should mention here that the security guard at the front told us that he doesn't go upstairs in the hotel unless he's got a group of 2 other people with him. Yeah, the security guard says he only goes up in pairs or threes. And he also was asking us, like, you guys have a knife, right? And we're like, no. So hearing that from the security guard was a little freaky. But one of the residents who gave us an impromptu tour of some of the floors was telling us some really disturbing, shocking things. She said that since she moved in 2 years ago, there have been somewhere between 15 to 30 deaths inside of the Cecil Hotel. She mentioned that some of those deaths were overdoses. Some of those deaths were people ending their own lives. And
this is one of the scariest hotels in the United States. The Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles has a very long and dark history. Located on Skid Row, this hotel was built back in 1924, and its reputation has been battered by many strange deaths over the years. The most famous incident happened back in 2013, when a Canadian girl named Elisa Lam was seen acting very strange on surveillance cameras, repeatedly walking in and out of the elevator, pressing every button, and possibly attempting to hide from somebody. Then, 19 days later, her body was discovered on the roof inside the hotel's water tank. Guests had reported strange tasting water and low water pressure, prompting them to check the tank and finding her. While it is not 100% known how she ended up in there, she did have a history of problems. Since this incident, the hotel has been very famous. Have you ever visited the Cecil Hotel? Do you believe in the urban legends of this place?
Probably the most infamous hotel in America. It's been linked to dozens of deaths, mysterious disappearances, and even serial killers who lived there. The most chilling story? A guest named Elisa Lam, who vanished, only to be found in the hotel's rooftop water tank. Her last moments were caught on an elevator security camera, and to this day, no one can fully explain what happened. Hotel number 3, Kyungi Hotel in Asia.
This is the scariest hotel in Asia, Kayungai Hotel, located on a remote mountaintop in Malaysia. The exterior walls of this 23-story building are covered with strange red spots, as if soaked in blood. This hotel is famous for being the filming location of a horror movie. The entire parking lot is full of rusty abandoned vehicles, as if entering the apocalyptic scene of Resident Evil. What's creepy is that despite such a bad reputation, this hotel is still open for online booking, and it is often hard to find a room on weekends. The hotel is located at an altitude of 2,000 meters, and it is foggy all year round. There is no one around, only abandoned cars and a deadly environment. When you arrive at the hotel, the only person who greets you is an indifferent security guard, and there is no breath of other living people around. The room is simple but clean, with complete facilities, and there is a dense fog outside the window, as if isolated from the outside world. The scariest part of the hotel is the 13th floor, where it is rumored that mysterious supernatural phenomena often occur. You can often hear disturbing cries at night. If you are given 100,000 US, would you dare to stay in this scary hotel for one night?
This one feels straight out of an urban legend. Travelers say the walls seem to breathe at night, and people hear screaming coming from empty rooms. One man swore he saw a pale woman standing in the elevator mirror, except when he turned around, no one was there. Locals warn visitors never to stay on the top floor. Hotel number 2, the Emily Morgan Hotel.
The scariest hotel in America costs $1 and no one is staying. This is the Emily Morgan Hotel, one of the scariest places in America. Originally built as the Medical Arts Building, the building was once home to a hospital and psychiatric hospital, and hotel staff and guests have reported seeing headless apparitions and witnessing unmanned elevators operating on their own, as well as hearing disembodied voices wait. The paranormal activity was concentrated on the floors where the hospital's operating rooms and psychology wards were originally located. Especially in some hotel rooms, the legendary ghosts are not limited to former patients, but also include the souls of doctors and nurses who worked in the hospital in the past. Later transformed into the Emily Morgan Hotel, a 13-story neo-Gothic landmark that stood at 205 feet. It was the tallest EDIF office building in San Antonio until 1928, when the Marrow building surpassed it. Initially, the hotel was priced at $10 a night, but until a guest saw a ghost, the hotel became so famous that no one dared to stay there anymore when Emily lowered the price to $1. Have you lived here before? If I give you $1, would you dare to live here?
San Antonio, Texas. This hotel used to be a medical building. And yeah, that means surgeries, morgues, and all. Guests now report hearing hospital carts rolling down hallways in the middle of the night. Some wake up to the smell of burning flesh, like they're trapped in an old operating room. And the elevators, they always seem to stop on the 7th floor, even if no one pressed it. Hotel number 1, the Biltmore Hotel, Coral Gables, Florida.
What is the most haunted hotel from your state? Today we're talking about Rhode Island. The Biltmore Hotel in Providence, Rhode Island was first built in 1922. It was financed in 1918 by Johann Weisskopf, and I probably mispronounced his name, correct me down in the comments. But Johann was a well-known Satanist, and it was known that he was wanting to use this hotel to let people know about Satanism and all the perks that it had. But with this being a well-known fact, the rumors of satanic cults soon started circulating. People started talking about how the Biltmore Hotel was the site for sacrifices, rituals, and a lot of unalivings. Now, I cannot find anything that confirms these rumors to be true, so I really do think they were just that, rumors. But on top of that, this was once a speakeasy during Prohibition. Many mobsters would frequent this hotel to go to the speakeasy, and because of that, a lot of mysterious unalivings happened there as well. So needless to say, now people believe that this hotel is incredibly haunted. In 2019, it was renamed to the Graduate Hotel, and so it's no longer the Biltmore, but people still claim that there are hauntings happening here. Many people have claimed to hear the typical things you would hear in a haunting, like disembodied voices and footsteps, and they always have a feeling of someone watching them, especially on the 6th floor, where people have reported their beds shaking throughout the night. When riding the elevator, many people have claimed to felt a presence inside the elevator with them, and the elevators tend to move on their own, stopping on floors and nobody's waiting there. There used to be a rooftop swimming pool in this hotel. It is no longer there, but people still claim to hear splashes like people are swimming in a pool, and laughter, but also screams like somebody is afraid that something is happening to them. So what are your thoughts on this place? Would you stay the night? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments and follow for more creepy things.
Known for its stunning architecture and terrifying history. During the 1920s, mobsters used this place as a hideout, and one gangster was gunned down on the 13th floor. To this day, guests claim they see him wandering the halls in a pinstripe suit, still clutching his cigar. Elevators open to empty hallways. Lights flicker, and people hear gunshots echoing through the building. The question is, would you dare book room 1307? Those are some of the most haunted and disturbing hotels in the world. Which one creeped you out the most? The horror hotel that inspired The Shining, or the Cecil Hotel's nightmare history? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd never survive a night in one of these places. Because trust me, some people checked in but never checked out.